Good morning, trendsetters. Yes, we are at the Iraqi National Museum and I have forgotten my passport again. So let's hope I don't get thrown into a room with the general and threatened with arrest and 1 week's detention. Now, where's the door to this museum? Well, so much for showing you the Iraqi National Museum. There was no videoing allowed, but you didn't really miss much anyway. There were some cool statues. The number one was probably the 5,000-year-old statue of a lion. But anyway, let's get on to the next location. Alright, ladies, gents and trendsetters, we are at the Saving Iraqi Culture Monument. But just beside it is a pretty cool looking arch. I think it takes you to a park or something like that. I might go have a nosy around in a minute, but let's get over to the monument. It's actually a bit creepy looking if you ask me. So you've got a human torso with the legs and arms out of the top of it holding up some sort of falling over pillar. It's definitely interesting though. So I'm happy I made the effort. Just been chatting to those two lads. They are school kids. Wave to the camera. Say hello. Nice kids, nice kids. Okay, let's keep wandering around and see what else we can find. Alright, I was going to go for a walk through the arch to the park. It's a 1,000 dinar entry fee. The guy didn't have change for a $5. So I thought I'd best to skip it because there's some military inside there, and once they start asking for passports, might have got into the old argy-bargy again. So let's get on to the next stop. Alright, I can't get a cab, maybe because of Ramadan or whatever, so I'm walking to the next spot, which is about half an hour away, and just around the other side of the park. Got another archway. Sort of leads to a car park or something in behind, but anyway, some quite interesting murals there. Some sort of historical scene. This one on the other side. There you go. Just something to see while we plod along. There's a big Ferris wheel over there. Seems to be some sort of amusement park, but nothing's going. It's all closed down. So hopefully I won't get lost on the way, and we will be at the next stop soon. Just walking past a very weird looking building. It looks like an air control tower, but it also looks very abandoned and quite old. What the hell is that? I don't know. Anyway, keep soldiering on. Alright, you have to cross a bridge to get to the Victory Monument or the Victory Square, and the guard told me that I can't walk over it, so I have to get a cab. It's all good. Alrighty, well that was a bit of a shit show. We got to the Victory Square, which is also next to the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, and apart from a few construction people and some very stern looking military guys who said you can't get out of the car, it was pretty empty. Big highway next to it. So we are still in the Uber and we're heading back to the hotel. Oh, this Iraq trip is turning out to be something else. Alright, so after another slightly unpleasant experience with the military, we are now at Liberation Square, only about a 10-minute walk from the hotel. There's the monument over there. Let's go for a walk and see if we can get a bit closer. And here we are at Liberation Square. At least there's a few locals floating around taking photos. Still a certain amount of police and military. Anyway, there's the monument. It's pretty cool. Doesn't look like you can go into the main part of the square. There's one or two locals in there, but everything's pretty locked down here, so you just do what you're told and get out of Dodge. You know, usually after a few days you start to feel a bit more comfortable with the place and you settle in, and this is the first country where this is not the case. I don't feel unsafe, but I'm definitely not comfortable here. There's cops and military everywhere with automatic weapons, and the place is just so grimy and gritty. I thought it might just be the low budget area where I'm staying, but it's everywhere. You can see the traffic and the buildings. None of it's particularly nice and welcoming. I mean, look at this down here. Wow. You wouldn't want to wander down there on a dark night, that's for sure. And back to the safety of the flea pit room. Okay, one day left tomorrow. We've got a few more sites to see, and then we're hitting the road to Erbil, which is about 5 hours ride in the north. See you tomorrow. Alrighty, we're at one of the most famous shrines and mosques in all of Baghdad. It's called Imam al-Kazim. There's a fair bit of construction going on, so it's covered up, but it's still rather impressive. Carpets and the details of the shrines. So you've got these carpets here, beautifully done. Quite a few guys just lying around asleep. Not quite sure what that's all about, but let's go and have a closer look. Looks like there's a funeral going on over there. Bunch of guys carrying a casket. It's probably difficult to tell, but there's some massive turrets in there behind. And they're probably real gold as well, so it's all very impressive. And here we are inside one of the mosques, and just like Iran, they do love their chandeliers. Wow, look at that. It's pretty amazing. It's very well done. Once again, lots of people just conked out on the floor. Maybe this is the sleeping mosque where everyone comes. It's much cooler in here than outside, that's for sure. Personally, the most impressive thing is the tile work at these mosques. It's very intricate, very elaborate. Murray Steele, you've got to up your game, mate. Get yourself to Iraq and learn the real trade. You might have to go without beers for a while, Muzza, but if you want to be a real tiler, this is the game, mate. This is the game. See you in Baghdad, Muzz. Okay, just doing a quick video inside the mosque. Look at that. It's pretty impressive. There's also guys walking around with green sashes who are obviously the administrators, and I don't want to get into trouble for doing anything that's blasphemous. It's just dudes sitting around. Okay, I have special permission to video at the shrine. And the shrine is one of the descendants of Muhammad, and there are all the people praying and giving thanks. Alright, we're back outside now. Some amazing tile work And here's a golden archway. Look at that. There's another massive area over there that you can't get to. They might be doing work on it or some such thing. Here's a look at the entranceway we came through. There it is there, with an impressive turret on the left. So pretty happy I made the 45-minute cab ride here. It's very impressive. I didn't know who the shrine was for, and an English-speaking guy told me it's the grandson of Muhammad. So obviously not the grandson, one of the great-great-grandsons. Maybe the grandson, but given that Muhammad lived, I think, 1400 years ago, one of his relatives anyway. The security starts a good 100 meters away from the mosque, so I was a bit unsure initially where I could and couldn't film. But if you can film inside the mosque, then you can obviously film outside the mosque. Here's the shops outside the mosque, and you can buy these things to adorn your home. Now obviously the different imams. I'm sure that's Jesus Christ up there. Or maybe that's him there, but maybe not. Could be some Muslim guy that I've never heard of, and given that I haven't heard of virtually all of them, it's all up for grabs. So there you go, you've got the Hezbollah guy again, and behind there, different leaders, whoever they are. He looks like a military guy in the middle there. You can buy all sorts of things, food and clothing, and look at all this yummy stuff. Delicious. I'm pretty sure it's some kind of sweet or dessert. Have it with your morning coffee. While you're at it, get yourself some pajamas or a dress for the day. Or maybe some gold jewellery. And there is the security gate up the front. Better not get too close while I'm filming. And we are through security. Out into the square. Still a little bit tense in there, especially because you stand out like a sore thumb, wearing a Harley Davidson t-shirt and a Red Bull cap. And I was the only gringo in there, so just got to watch your P's and Q's and be careful. Anyway, here's the square. It's not very salubrious, but what is around here? Let's find ourselves a cab and get out of Dodge. Just one last stop at the markets. Look at that incredible sight behind me. There's some walnuts. Look at that. So you got two different types of walnuts there. You've got raisins or currants. Wow. Some sweeties. More lollies. Here you've got nuts and grains. It's all very colourful and interesting. The street markets of Iraq. Alright, and we are back out on the street, ready for our next location. They don't have Uber here, but they have a Middle Eastern equivalent called Kareem. Tried to get it in Dubai, but I didn't have a local number. But I've got one here, so far so good. So the Kareem didn't show up, and there were loads of guys touting for taxi rides, so I broke the golden rule and got in a taxi, and sure enough, old mate here didn't know where he was going. I got out of the cab, then he figured out where we were going, wanted to charge me double. What a goat. But anyway, we are back on the road, and hopefully I'm going to make it to the next destination, but don't count on it. Yep, run that guy over. Well, I can't believe I made it, actually found it. The taxi driver was friggin' useless, he had no idea, and the place is crawling with military, so I thought it might be a government building or off limits, but here we are. Let's see if we can get some info. No info. It's all Arabic. I just thought I'd point out I haven't seen a single foreigner today, so that's always not necessarily cause for concern, but makes life a little bit interesting when there's no other tourists around. Here's a bit of advice for travellers. Never ever ever get a taxi when you can get an Uber. They are friggin' hopeless worldwide. From Bangkok to Baghdad are all a disaster. And I think we're at the front. Let's have a look inside, but I think that's the river over there, so we'll go and check that out first. And here we are on the Tigris River, or Tiger River. Doesn't look too bad. Not as polluted as the river in Phnom Penh, but you wouldn't see me swimming in there or casting my fishing rod either. Alright, let's stop faffing around and get inside this palace. Oh wow, this is pretty cool. It opens up into a courtyard. Look at that. Wow, this is epic. Look at that brickwork. Not bad. I've scored 2 out of 2 this morning. Pretty happy with my work. I wonder if we can get upstairs up there and have a walk around on the upper floor. Here is a water feature. Wow. And here we are looking out into the courtyard. Okay, I spotted some dodgy stairs around here somewhere. Let's try and find them and head up to the next level. Is it through here? Jesus! Oh wow, look at this. How cool is that? Alright, let's head down here. Ooh, how's that for effect? Wow. And okay. We're back to the courtyard. Ah, I see the steps ahead. Oh crikey, they look pretty sketchy. Well, we'll give them a go anyway. And here we are. Here's the old courtyard below. None of these doors on the upper level look open, but I dare say there's only a small windowless room inside anyway. Okay. Here's a room with no door. And I was right. Windowless room. Oh, here's another one at the end of the hall. What went on in small windowless rooms back in the day. Down we go. I think that's about it, ladies and gents. Hope you enjoyed that. If you're liking the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, subscribe. And if you'd like to help out the channel, please share it with family and friends. So just to wrap up on this amazing piece of architecture, it was built in the 12th century and it was built as a walkable and observant fort for the Caliph. Now, you'll have to look that up because I've got no idea what that means. But anywho, hope you enjoyed the vid. Alright, we're in the markets area here, and but I think everything is closing up. Anyway, this is all your knickknacks and retro stuff. Look at all this scales. Fancy a knife. Antiques, my friend. Valuable antiques. Oh, we got some swords here.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Where are you from?
I'm from New Zealand.
New Zealand.
New Zealand.
Welcome.
Welcome, thank you. Friendly dude, and he didn't even try and sell me anything. Why do we all love old shit so much? Just clogs up your house. Okay, so we've made it to the fabulous monument and it's closed. No one is allowed to go near it, unfortunately, but that seems pretty par for the course for Baghdad. But anyway, here's a bit of a look at it. It's quite impressive. It's a shame we can't get up close and personal to it. It was built for the soldiers of the Iran-Iraq war, but it now includes all the soldiers that have fought for Iraq. So, another one a bit disappointing, like the Victory Monument, but it is what it is. And we are back at the Barakat Palace. That is the end of the sightseeing in Baghdad. Thank Christ, let's get the hell out of this place. If you're enjoying these videos and you'd like to know more about the ride from New Zealand to Ireland via crazy places like Iraq, go to twowheelstoeverywhere.com. If you'd like to know more about the IHC, who look after the intellectually disabled community in New Zealand and whom I'm raising money for, you can go to ihc.org.nz. And if you're enjoying this video series, please consider donating to the IHC. The link is on the screen and it's also in the description below.